Welcome to our video on management review meetings. This is a short video and you should be able to make it through it in one sitting. We suggest that you watch this video first before you start on the series, get the general approach straight, and then work this step after you've watched the video a second time. So this is what this short video will cover. We will go through each of these steps. First, getting you oriented to the subject, then going through these steps, followed by some do's and some don'ts. At the end, we provide contact information for further live support. Support may be arranged by appointment for a fee. What can you expect from a good management review meeting? Well, management reviews are a part of maintaining good processes. Left to themselves, people will misalign their priorities. Everyone knows that changed processes will drift back to prior patterns. If you've made changes recently, oversight is essential to keep things on track. Of course, good meetings do not just happen. There are some aspects of leadership that contribute to good meetings. Since all individuals lead in some way, let's go over some preconditions. To begin, there need to be some general cultural aspects in place that are good for the overall organization to allow for good meetings. First of all, doers need to have time to work, and everyone is a doer to some extent. Don't let meetings overrun your work time. Allow time to get to the next meeting. Just like in school, remember they had things called passing periods? Block out the last 10 minutes of the hour on your wall clocks so that people know that the meeting is supposed to end to allow people to move to the next meeting. No one is born knowing how to run meetings. As employees churn in and out, and as new employees move in and up, meeting training is surely going to be a continuous task. As you plan to hold a particular meeting, be sure to get ready. First of all, how much will this meeting cost in salaries? For example, 10 people, 1 hour, $80 an hour, that's an $800 meeting. What kind of meeting is this? Now, the most productive meetings are to decide and commit. There's less valuable meeting types, however. There's downward communications meetings. There's upward feedback meetings. There's, of course, the sideways communications from team to team. There's brainstorming meetings. There's work definition and sorting meetings. There's peer teaching. You need to shoot for less than an hour meetings or do some kind of a stand-up meeting to make the best use of time. Prior agendas sent out to people coming to the meeting help them be prepared and to prevent hidden agendas from taking over. Here's some criterion for agenda preparation. What will we do differently if we succeed in this meeting? Do we need to meet to accomplish this? And finally, how will this meeting help further the goal of the team? If you got those straight, then your agenda will be a lot more succinct. If you have a standing meeting, in other words, a meeting that happens on a routine basis at the same time, not every item has to be covered at every meeting. You can change out the agenda items to cover all the items over time, but then shorten each meeting. Some people may just come to observe. Others may be able to pop in and out as they are needed. To allow that, you have to have not only an agenda, but you have to have timing on the agenda. Otherwise, it will be unproductive. If you stick to the agenda and the times on the agenda, then people will just need to know when the meeting is going to be held and what it's going to cover, and they will come and go at certain times. That's one way to make meetings more productive. Again, is this meeting truly needed? If it's just a status update, you can send that just sharing documents and, of course, enforcing the internal discipline to read those shared documents. You need to send out email reminders with the agenda a day or so before so participants can actually be ready for the meeting. At the end of a meeting, some tasks remain. Meeting results need to be filed so they can be found later. Those not attending may need to know what happened. Agenda items usually boil down into action item lists at the end. And an action item list is a way to shame people to get their assignments done. Be sure these get to the pertinent people. Meeting disruptors are common. Talk with them offline if possible. They do not need to lose face in front of others. A crucial skill is calendaring. Setting meetings up, updating them, sharing them, and of course watching our own calendars to know what's coming. It's all part of calendaring. Training is a big help here. As our work lives become busy, things get forgotten. The meeting leader needs to remind future attendees of what they need to do to avoid wasting the time of everyone present at the next meeting. Tracking what worked or did not work, recording these nuggets as lessons learned, and updating leadership training need to be standard tasks for managers. Lastly, a well-run meeting will lead to successful actions by everyone. What does on time mean in your company's culture? 10 minutes early? Maybe it's 15 minutes late. It varies from company to company and group to group. But sometimes some kind of soft shaming can help. You can use peer pressure so that people feel somewhat embarrassed by coming to a meeting late. Leaders can enforce agendas by just leaving if an agenda is not been provided. I've seen leaders just walk out. Keeping minutes keeps people honest. Remember, if it's not written down, it didn't happen. A facilitator keeps the meeting moving. And remember that the boss makes a poor facilitator. Disruptors may be ignored to discourage them, but if this does not help, then they should be talked to later on outside the meeting. If bad behavior persists, then maybe you do need to call them on it during a meeting. There's a designated approach to dealing with groupthink. It's called the 10th man. This is a designated contrary debater. Someone who volunteers as a devil's advocate is likely to have a hidden agenda. That's not what you want to do. The 10th man is a officially management designated person to think and talk opposite, to argue opposite to everyone else. This prevents groupthink from taking over. You want to keep lessons learned about what works and does not work after each meeting, and then use that in future training. Closing the meeting well keeps the next one on track. Late meeting endings hurt subsequent meetings. Some do's or don'ts. You have unnecessary meetings, just kill them. Prepare before you get there. Use agendas with estimated timing. Again, the timing is just estimated, okay? It might not, people might not adhere immediately to it, closely to it, but it'll keep things under control. Keep minutes. Follow up later and use lessons learned to improve your meetings. Do not hold surprise meetings. Surprise meetings generally waste a lot of time. Don't invite everyone for the whole time period. If they don't have to be there for the whole meeting, just have them come for part of it. Don't talk without writing it down. Again, if it's not written down, it never happened. Don't wander off the agenda, at least not too far. And don't have meetings just for the sake of having meetings. Some supplies and preparations help avoiding wasting time, and they help make meetings more productive. Here are some of the things that would help. Again, meeting planning forms, have an agenda, action item lists, have clean whiteboards. with the right kind of markers that actually work. Have good lighting. Use flip charts. Give people paper and writing instruments so that they might be able to write something down if something happens that they need to remember. Power for laptops or phones if you're going to use them. And again, comfortable seating is useful so that people are paying attention to the meeting, not their sore back. Here's our contact information for personalized, scheduled, fee-based support. We can help if you get stuck. These videos should help you handle your issues, but if a bit more help is needed, just let us know. Of course, do let us know if you'd just like to share your results. We're curious how useful this video system works for you. And thank you.